welcome back. Thank you for being here. It's been a while since we've done another video, but we've been raising this one, so sometimes we just can't post type-related content, but thanks for being here. And the one subject that I really have been thinking a lot about, actually probably because of raising him, is how this ISTJ, my wife, is actually an ESTJ. And this is not the first time I brought this up to her, but this is the first time we're going to do a video about it. And pretty much the main reason I say that is I believe that...
What else do you think,
feel
Aiden?
the same? The main reason I think that is because her use of TE is just much more assertive and sure of itself when in use. Whereas mine, as an INTJ, feels a little bit more, it takes a little bit more contemplation before I make that assertion or before I start prioritizing and making things happen. In so many cases, my experience is Deanna will instantly know this is the best way to do it. Your way is wrong. We can try it your way, but I know that I'm right. And that shouldn't say that, but you can tell that she just knows immediately how to respond to any problem that someone may give them. What do you want to say?
Well, okay, so my question is like, I agree with you, but my question is, so if I'm an ISTJ and you're an INTJ, what does that mean about our TE slots versus if I'm an ESTJ? Where does that put TE?
Well, good question. So for the ISTJ and INTJ, we both would share TE in the second position.
Okay.
With ESTJ, it means that TE is in the first position, meaning it's a dominant function. And I think that's where I kind of want to say is like, it's so clear to me when you become an ESTJ or just are an ESTJ and you lead with more like, this is how we're going to do it. Whereas I'm like, let me think on it a second before I go forward. But your TE is always based on the support of how I've experienced it before, how it's impacted me before, or how we've done it before, which is clearly SI. So that has always been clear, but the order to me is now very clear that it's TE-SI, which is ESTJ, and not SI-TE, which is ISTJ.
Huh. Okay.
And another thing, and this is really hard when you're trying to type people by not their first or second function, but trying to look at like their third or fourth and trying to see if you can maybe discern what their type is that way. That's kind of hard. But when you look at how the ISTJ uses NE, extrovert intuition, or the ESTJ uses NE, is like, if it's in the third slot, that's the child slot, that's the aspirational. It's something that you want to fulfill, you want to use often, but it doesn't always come across as being very effective, or it's not really well thought out.
Okay.
And I think your use of NE fits more of the ESTJ than the ISTJ. You're not afraid of NE or new possibilities like the ISTJ is.
I don't value it, though. You
don't value it, but you're very willing to, after I've come up with a plan, or after we've set forth on a direction, you go, or
okay, you're right.
We could try this. But you always throw an or in, and it upsets me to no end. Because I'm like, why are you doing this? Now we have to consider this path. But you view it as, well, we could try it. I'm not against it. I would also say that you're much more entrepreneurial in other aspects of your life than you'd imagine ISTJ to be.
Okay.
That's why you have started another business, and it goes very well. You're not afraid of it. And you're also not afraid of like coming up with another solution on your behalf or someone else's behalf in the way that I think an ISTJ would be very much like, nope, this is how we're doing it.
Right.
We're not changing.
I will say that typically, ISTJs like rules and follow the rules.
Right.
And I will admit that I tend to be more of a like trailblazer, like in the sense, not trailblazer in like, I don't think I'm innovative per se, but I am someone who will come into an organization and be like, yeah. Like, I know that, you've always done it this way, but hello, here I am. And this is what it's going to take to keep me on board or to this is how I want to do it.
Yeah.
And then I will sort of just like lobby people to be like, don't you think it should be this way, And so I will say, like, I'll recognize the rules, but then I will say, but yeah, that doesn't apply to me. Like sometimes I will do that.
Yeah, and that's a little side thing is, if you follow, for the people that follow Michael Pierce, he's kind of typed the ESTJs and ISTJs as the anarchic types. Like anarchy, the rule followers, but really they all. I know that you believe that all the rules should apply to other people because they need to be in order, but I don't have to follow them because I know what's right. I know what's worked. So it's a very funny way to say anarchist. No, that's the NPs.
Yeah.
But you fit very well there, and because usually like I know what the established order is, but here's the best way. Best way. Because your TEs are like, this is the best way to do it.
Most efficient, cost effective, streamlined. All those corporate buzzwords fit well there. So, the way that changes, like the dynamic is it doesn't really change much about our dynamic, but it makes the dynamic between us more clear, is because I'm confident as an INTJ that eventually my TE will guide me in the right direction, but eventually, and I'm not as confident as you are. Well, you actually hate when I say things like, well, you should just do it this way. And I can come to that should conclusion way faster. And so like I will, you say it like, oh, I act before I think. I mean, partially, yes, I do feel like I think it's a waste of time to just sit there and think forever. Like, but I feel like I just think faster than a lot of people. Like, I just sit there and I go, okay, I got it. This is what I'm going to do. Like,
right.
and so I take offense to you saying that I don't think before I act. But I just say...
Well, less thinking.
I just like process it faster, I think.
Process faster, less thinking, less contemplation. This is such a funny thing, and my audience, you should chime in on this, because this is a very specific colleague of hers that I know that I would also say is an ESTJ, and when they disagree... No one admits that the other person is right or that they're wrong. Someone eventually backs down. That's the funny part, but... The backing down consists of, this is a waste of time. I'm going to allow you your thing. It's not the right way to do it, but we're going to do it because it's the best way forward. But I'm not wrong and you're not wrong either, but we're just going to go with you. So there's never an apologetic moment where it's like, I actually got it wrong here. I don't want to keep arguing with you. Let's go for it. It's so no one gives ground, but someone does win.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Where is the FE slot compared to an ESTJ versus an ISTJ?
It's just one slot away. I mean, for the ESTJ, it is dead last. It's the demon slot. For the ICJ, it's the trickster, which is the 7th. But, I mean, in how they play out, yeah, you could probably see a little bit of a difference. But...
I feel like as an ISTJ... I can see the utility in FE as using it kind of like a robot would, right? Like training myself to use it just because I know that it's useful.
Right.
Versus an ESTJ is just like, forget that. This is how it is. Who cares? Like, why would I like waste my time at all, like using FE?
Right. And I think in the same way that an ENTJ would say sucks to suck, I think you as an ESTJ have many times said, oh, it just sucks to be in that situation. It sucks to be that. But I am not going to be empathetic enough to change my mind about the best way forward because of your situation.
I mean, I'm willing to listen to people's ideas. It's not like I'm so locked in that I won't listen to other people.
Right.
But... I mean, that is I still personally identify as an ISTJ.
I understand.
But I see what you're saying is that I turn into an ESTJ sometimes. Yeah. And those times are you saying is it because it's like during a time where I'm very confident in a situation that I have very strong SI that I can pull out other things. I mean, I don't know. Like,
well, here's something that as I've known you that's come out is when you used to do school projects and it'd be like, who's going to lead the team? They would just be like, well, Deanna's going to do it because she's always asserted herself as, okay, well, here's what I think we should do. And like, you're the leader. And like, how often does that happen in school, corporate America, social circles, planning, the first person that says, here's what we're going to do, people just go, fine, you're the leader.
Okay, so here's a few things I have to say about that. The first thing is I have sat back before in school projects where I'm never the person where I'm like, I have to be in charge. I have to be the leader. I'm the leader. Like, I don't say that. I'll sit back and stay quiet, and then everyone else will be like, well, obviously Deanna's going to be the leader, right?
Right.
And what I find, because you were talking about how I sound assertive, is like, I don't know what it is, but I can say things that I'm just totally guessing. Like, I'm just making it up. But the way I say it sounds so confident that people go like, well, we have to listen to Deanna. Like, she's right. She sounds so confident. And it is like kind of a curse sometimes where I'm just like, yeah, the sky's yellow. And people are like, wow, I guess the sky's yellow because Deanna, like, it sounds so confident.
Yeah, confidence is 90% of it.
And I go, I don't know, I was just guessing. Like, so that... Hi. That curses me sometimes. But also in meetings at work.
Pause. Okay, Aiden.
So like I was saying, when I'm in meetings sometimes even, if I like sit back and don't say anything, like nothing will happen. Like nothing will get done. There will be a 4-hour meeting where 0 things were accomplished. So a lot of times, like, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Like, I have to, not that, like, it's not an egotistical thing. It's not like I must be in charge because, like, I'm the queen, you know? It's more like, if anything's gonna get accomplished here, which I guess is my TE, right? Yeah. Then I have to step up because no one else is.
Right.
I have to step up and say, moving on to the next topic, and what's our conclusion, yes or no, and like back people into a corner to like just finally give me an answer and not be like, let's just put that off for the next quarterly meeting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're very good at agendas. You're very good at project management. You're very good at timelines. You're very good at, like, even the foresight of like, well, if we don't do this by then, this is going to take this amount of time, so we have to start in the next 2 days for it to be delivered on. Like, there's just certain things where it's like, this has to be your type. Maybe that's like your corporate type or corporate persona, and you're really an ISTJ at heart, but when it comes to what decision are we going to make, where it's a very clear, like, fork in the road, you are just like, this is what we're doing. And then the other idea, no, it's like, it's unyielding, and this is what we're gonna do. And that's why a lot of times I'm just like, okay, yeah, like, I'll trust it because I don't see any. But then what I'll do is, like, if it's a week later, I'll be like, yeah, I should have never agreed to that.
But the reason it's unyielding is because I have thought it through. It's not unyielding because, like, I'm just right. Like, I think I'm right, and this is what I want, and so therefore that's what I get.
Right.
Like, that's not what it is. It's okay. I think of options A, B, and C. I consider them, and I go, B's the best.
Right.
And then I'm like, don't you think we should do B? And you're like, yeah, sure, let's do B, because you're half paying attention to me. And so we do B a month later, and you're like, why are we doing this? So
happens all the time.
But anyway, it's that's the distinction I want to make, though, and I feel like maybe this is just like my bias for the types of ESTJs that I know, but I feel like a lot of ESTJs are still black and white like ISTJs are, and they're more like, they're even more adamant about it. But I do feel like there's some ego in there where it's just like, I know best, and that is why. And my distinction is, it's not that like I know best, and no matter what my gut tells me to, it's not a gut thing. Like, I actually did consider it with my brain, and then I evaluated it, and I landed on the best solution. In record time. Oh, in record time.
Instantaneously.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, what do you as the audience think? Like, you guys have seen enough videos with Deanna, but you may have people in your life that you thought were ISTJ, but you're like, I swear when it comes to meetings or decision making, the ESTJ is just like, comes to the forefront. So what do you think? Have you seen someone change from I to E or ISTJ to ESTJ? What do you think? Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.
I tried to live without you.